Okay, how do you build a $5,000 light for $500? Well, it's really the secret is in the LED strips themselves. This is an RGB LED strip. It's a 5-in-1 RGB LED strip that goes between 3000 Kelvin, 6000 Kelvin plus RGB all in one, and it adopts the 50/50 chip size, which is fantastic. I'm going to be using a old Kino Image 20 as the housing. It's the studio version of the Short 4. If you need some ideas, watch part 4 of my LED guide for ideas. I won't be using the reflector since I am going to build a solid sheet of LEDs, a solid panel. There will be no room. There's a Kino ballast. Once all the old hardware is removed and the glue and I cleaned it all out, just did a quick measure, but a Short 4 or a Kino Image 20 is 2 feet by 1 foot. I mount the strips onto a piece of chloroplast and I use that as the actual base of the panel. If I ever want to disassemble the panel, I don't have to desolder and rip the strips out. I can just pull the module of chloroplast all at once, since it does take a very long time to assemble. I don't want it to disassemble it if I ever want to reuse it. Now, measure twice, cut once. Even though I did double and triple check, it's still messed up. The rows are 60 centimeters long and there are 20 rows of them, so it's a lot of 12 meters of this 5-in-1 tape. That's 240 solder points. You use 20 gauge wire and use a leapfrog pattern, so you basically solder the wires in every other configuration, which will give you 2 basically separate rows, if you want to say. Test everything, double test everything, and if you make a mistake, it's very common to make mistakes. Don't worry, you can fix it in the middle of the panel. The copper is very weak since there is 6 solder points on a single chip, so if you do break it, don't worry, do it in the middle. I use hot glue to reinforce everything since it is fairly delicate. And then, like I said, you'll have 2 main for the leapfrog. Combine them together and give yourself enough room to have the cable going to the controller. Once it's all finished, once your module is finished, like so, you can put it into the housing, or if you built it in the housing, that's awesome. Since I'm using this Kino Image, it already has lots of holes drilled out that they used for the cables, so I can just reuse the same spots. But if you build your own, then you can map it out wherever you want. The panel I built was a little too big because the wires at the end, the curves, made it basically an inch larger. So there is a little curve to it, which is fine. Now I mount everything on the back with Velcro. It tested out for the first couple weeks, and then I use rivets. Now my panel is 300 watts, but my power supply, my Meanwhile power supply, is on order, so I have to use this 1000 power supply I have lying around to test. Now to test it, my camera is set to ISO 200, f22, and 5600 Kelvin, and basically it's a Skypanel. It's not as bright. I will do a side-by-side comparison and do another video about that, but it gives you every color of the rainbow. It's 3000K to 6000K plus RGB, so if you do want it warmer or cooler, you could add red to get it warmer or blue to get it cooler. And I find all the work I do currently, all the jobs, not all the jobs, but a lot of them require color. Now the cost breakdown. So the 5-in-1 tape costs $100 per 5 meters. I needed 3 spools to get that 12-meter length, so 200 bucks and change. The controller was $100 and the power supply was $150, so it came out to about $450 and change. Now after I built this, I was kind of like, why the hell did I build this when Skypanels exist? Plus yeah, usually when there's a job with a Skypanel, I can afford to rent the Skypanel from the budget with that job. Now with some of the leftover 5-in-1 tape, I also built a 6-inch panel, and I don't have any video of it, but here's a photo of it, and I use this one all the time. I'm probably gonna make 3 more, maybe even 5 more, to have a total of 6. These things are fantastic. I really like them since this doesn't exist on the market. It's quarter of the size of the Freestyle 30, or not Freestyle 30, the Skypanel 30. It's a quarter the size of that, so you can plop it in a corner. You know, if you need a tungsten source, you got it. If you need a daylight source, you got it. And if you're doing something where you need some color, some gel, RGB, this can also do it. And since it's so small, you can hide it, put it on camera. This I really like, and it doesn't exist on the market, so I will be making more of these. Anyways, if you're interested in purchasing anything that I use in this video, let me know. The 5-in-1 tape isn't really accessible to the public just yet, and I'm working on manufacturing a 6-inch wide 5-in-1 LED panel. So the panel will come pre-assembled. All you need to do is slap it into whatever housing you choose, and it'll be 6 inches wide, and then different lengths, maybe a 6-inch by 6-inch, a 6-inch by 1 foot, 6-inch by 2 feet, so you could retrofit your Kinos or use it for whatever you like. So if that is something you're interested in, please let me know, and I'll work on getting it available to the masses. Anyways, catch you later.